Hey, welcome to Everyday Economics, the podcast that helps you learn about the economic world happening around you every day. I'm your host, Chris Krug, president of the 501c3 nonprofit, nonpartisan Franklin News Foundation. Everyday Economics is a production of America's Talking Network. You can subscribe to all of our podcasts at americastalking.com. To support Everyday Economics, please make your tax-deductible charitable contribution by clicking the link in the show description. We are recording today's episode on Monday, October 30th. And joining me as always, my partner, Dr. Orphe Divounguy, PhD economist. Dr. O, great to have you with us and great to have you among the living. Tough week on the COVID trail for you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. It's great to be on the other side. You know, COVID did mess me up pretty bad, actually. And I am back and I feel stronger and better than ever. So let's do this.
Yeah. So, hey, let's jump right into it. You know, there's this little website out there on the West Coast called Zillow.com that does some research every now and again.
Hold on one second. Zillow's on all coasts. Tracking 135 million homes in the United States, my friend.
I kept hitting refresh, and I thought it was maybe just something attached to that little fishing village that you live in out there in Washington State. So, surprise, surprise, new home sales just went absolutely bananas in September, which is fascinating, right? I'm sure that there's a reasonable explanation why. Of course, the entire housing market is not marching along in unison. Existing home sales are, I don't know, I'll let you characterize it. I would say that they're scuffling a bit. New home sales seem to be rolling. So what's the story here?
Yeah, I mean, we've covered this briefly on the podcast before. It's a supply constrained housing market. You know, we got 8% mortgage rates that have cooled down demand, yes, but they've cooled down supply even more. They've kept existing homeowners on the sidelines. And so you have a combination of fewer existing homes on the market for sale. You have builders building a ton during the pandemic and more homes still coming on the market. I mean, look, completions are at a record high. I think the most completions since like 2007 or something like that. Yeah. So you're going to have these homes come on the market and basically they're ready, they're available. Builders are giving away all types of incentives to home buyers because the market has slowed down so much and they're worried, they're a little bit scared. Hey, you know, they're cautious. I want to say, hey, you know, maybe we won't be able to get rid of this inventory. Maybe they're able to get rid of the inventory because you have millennials aging into home buying, huge generation, people ready to buy. You have people coming from abroad wanting to buy a home. You have, and builders are saying, look, we got all these people, they want to buy, they're stuck because of the budget constraint because 8% is kind of steep. So what do? We give them a rate buy down. A lot of people go into homes at 5% right now, 6%. So they give them a rate buy down, they give them a bunch of incentives, and the end result is new home sales continue to take higher and higher and higher. And that's it. I mean, you have a supply constrained housing market. And so if you have builders building and giving away incentives to buyers, then new home sales continue to take higher.
From the report, 759,000 new single family homes came on the market in September. That's up 12.3% from August and is up more than 33% from the prior September. So September, right. The median sales price of new houses in September, this is straight from the Zillow report. Median sales price of new houses in September was $418,800 US dollars. The seasonally adjusted estimate of new houses for sale at the end of September was 435,000, a supply of 6.9 months at the current sales rate. So I want to ask this question. We've talked about builder sentiment, you know, just recently. I mean, I know that you and I have been a little bit spotty in being able to come on. My travel schedule's been pretty bad. You had this bout with the COVID, so we really haven't had a chance to talk and sort of coalesce. Try to make sense of that for us. I mean, the previous home builder sentiment number, what's to be expected here in the future?
Well, look, you're going to see home builder confidence come down. It is because home builder sentiment tells you something about the future. It's not about right now. It's about the future. And with 8% mortgage rates, the incentives are going to go up and up and up to keep buyers, to get buyers through the door. And that's going to, you know, the profit margins are going to have to shrink a little bit. That's just the bottom line. And so, of course, the builders are not going to be too happy about that. But they're going to have to make some changes. And I think a lot of builders are already making those changes. They're saying, look, we got a lot of people wanting to buy. The types of homes we're building have to be able to fit within their budgets. And so what do? We build a little bit more efficiently. We build smaller. We build taller. We're going to have to, make a few changes, right? Just to get the math to make the math work. And that's what builders are going to continue doing. I think they started doing that back in 2022 when rates went up a lot and everybody thought the market was completely frozen and everybody was worried. Buyers came back in the spring of this year. I expect buyers will come back again as long as the labor market's doing what it's doing, as long as the U.S. economy, wage growth is where it's at, the U.S. economy is still pretty strong. Buyers will come back in the spring, and builders want to be ready for that. They are cautious. They're a little bit worried, but I think that history kind of doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. We saw this happen before. We're going to see it happen again. And I just think builders need to be ready. They need to have the inventory ready. They need to be ready to they're going to have to build differently because that's the world we live in. It's the 8% mortgage rate world, and rates are likely to stay elevated for a while.
I just put the information from the Zillow report into the mortgage loan calculator that I found at I think it's at Google. I started over at FreeSpoke, but
Zillow.com also has a mortgage rate calculator. It also has a search by monthly cost calculator.
I'm trying to diversify the data points here, right? So, but in fairness, that $418,800 property, depending on where you live, it calculated it. It's showing me as if this house is in Illinois, but it's nowhere in Illinois that I'm familiar with because it's showing the property taxes are only $5,235.
A lot of these calculators, these random calculators online, will assume like the average property tax rate across the country is like 1 point something percent.
Right. Well, I just got my assessment, and my assessment, if I factored into this, the property taxes on this house would be more like $14,000.
Oh wow!
But nonetheless, $3,121 a month is the affordability factor there. $2,563 to the loan, $558 in taxes and fees, and I guess it's just like so somewhere in the neighborhood of you're going to need $36,000 a year to be able to buy this average house.
Yeah, I mean, there's a nice report that was put out recently. Look, the typical family needs to earn a lot more today. I mean, you want to earn 3 times your monthly cost, right? And so if you want to earn 3 times your monthly cost, you're looking at $100,000, $114,000 for the typical family to buy the typical home today in the United States. So that is a fact, yes, and that's going to disqualify a lot of people. But again, the good news is builders are making the necessary adjustments to build the kinds of homes that people not only want to seek to live in, but also can afford. And that's the only reason, in my opinion, that you're still seeing new home sales increasing. So you have a lot of people who still want to buy a home, regardless of. A lot of people do this whole math about like buy versus rent, buy versus rent. At the end of the day, when you have kids in school, you're not trying to move them from one school to the next in the middle of the school year. When you have large pets, most Americans know if they have large pets, it's still very, very difficult to be a renter. And so people want to buy. That's at the end of the day, that's the truth. People want to buy. It's just a matter of making the math work. And the good news is builders are trying to do that. And I think they're doing a good job, which is why we're still seeing single-family home sales increasing.
Good conversation, and welcome back. I'm glad you're feeling better. For Orphe, Divounguy, this has been Chris Krug. Subscribe to Everyday Economics and dozens of other high-quality podcasts at americastalking.com.